Ethan Hale had always preferred quiet corners of the galaxy. While many humans dreamed of adventure, glory, or discovering new civilizations, Ethan simply wanted peace. He was an engineer, a very talented one, but he rarely spoke about his skills. He lived alone on a small research station far away from busy trade routes. From the large windows of the station, he often watched stars shining like tiny lanterns. He enjoyed the silence, the calm breathing of the machines, and the predictable flow of work. For him, this life was enough. He spent his days checking power grids, repairing scanners, cleaning filters, or upgrading small systems. The station did not have many people, only a handful of researchers who often left for missions. Ethan usually remained behind because he liked being the person everyone relied on when something needed fixing. Though he was quiet, he was dependable. He never thought he needed anything more than that. One evening, when he was finishing a routine systems check, a soft ping echoed through the control room. It was the signal for an unidentified object entering the station's sensor range. Usually, these pings came from small pieces of drifting metal, broken satellites, or harmless cosmic debris. Ethan almost ignored it. But this signal was different. It repeated every few seconds in a slower, weaker tone, like a heartbeat fading away. Curious, Ethan turned toward the scanner panel. A faint distress beacon was attached to the object. He frowned. Distress signals were rare in that region because almost no one traveled so far out. He tapped a few buttons and enlarged the image. What appeared on the screen was a tiny escape pod, drifting alone in the dark. Its power supply was almost empty. His heart tightened not from fear but from concern. Whoever was inside had very little time left. Ethan moved quickly but calmly. He contacted the station AI to prepare the docking arm. Next, he put on a light jacket, checked the medical kit, and waited near the airlock. The pod approached slowly and finally connected with the station. When the hatch opened, Ethan expected to see a human. Instead, he gasped softly. Inside the pod was someone he never imagined he would meet in his simple life. The figure was tall and delicate, with pale blue skin that shimmered softly even in the dim emergency lights. Silver markings along her cheeks glowed faintly. Her hair, long and almost weightless, flowed like threads of light. She was unconscious, her breathing shallow but steady. Ethan knew instantly she was not human, but he also knew one thing clearly: she needed help. He lifted her carefully and carried her into the medbay. She was lighter than he expected, almost weightless, as if her body was adapted to a different kind of gravity. He placed her on the medical bed, connected gentle sensors, and started basic recovery procedures. After a few minutes, her eyes fluttered open. They were bright violet, filled with confusion and fear. She tried to sit up quickly, but she was too weak. "It's okay," Ethan said softly, raising his hands slightly to show he meant no harm. "You're safe here. You were drifting in space. I brought you in." The alien woman stared at him for a moment, her breathing slowly steadied. "Where am I?" she asked in a soft musical voice. "A small human research station," he replied. "My name is Ethan Hale." She blinked, trying to process his words. "I am Lyra Avaren," she said quietly, almost reluctantly, as if unsure whether to reveal her identity. Ethan gave her a small smile. "Nice to meet you, Lyra." She seemed surprised at his simple response. Most beings who recognized her name reacted with awe or nervousness. Lyra was the princess of the Celestari Empire, known across several star systems, but Ethan didn't react like others. She studied his face and noticed genuine kindness, not fear or admiration. He did not treat her as royalty. He treated her as a person who needed help. Ethan brought her warm water and adjusted the temperature in the room. Lyra watched him with a mixture of curiosity and wonder. Most humans she had met before spoke quickly, proudly, or tried to impress her. Ethan did none of that. He checked the pod logs, repaired the medbay scanner, and asked her calm, simple questions. "Do you feel dizzy?" "A little," she admitted. "Do you remember what happened?" "I escaped," she said softly. "My ship malfunctioned, and I had to use the escape pod. After that, the systems started failing. Ethan nodded gently. You're safe now. She looked at him with wide eyes. You saved me. Ethan scratched his neck shyly. I just responded to a signal. Anyone would. Not anyone, Lyra said in a quiet, thoughtful tone. Some might ignore a weak signal. Some might fear interacting with someone from another world. You did not. Ethan didn't know how to respond, so he simply gave her a modest smile and continued helping her recover. Over the next few days, Lyra regained her strength. The station was peaceful, and she found herself enjoying the calm atmosphere almost as much as Ethan did. They talked often. Lyra told him about her world-floating cities, glowing gardens, and rivers that sparkled like crystal. She described Celestari traditions, their gentle way of life, and her responsibilities as a princess. Ethan listened with interest, asking questions but never overwhelming her. In return, Ethan told her about simple human customs, like sharing warm tea during cold evenings, stargazing from rooftops, or laughing with friends during late-night stories. Lyra found these simple joys fascinating. She admired how Ethan kept the station running almost by himself. He repaired machines with ease, solved small problems quickly, and explained things in clear, calm words. He was brilliant, but he never boasted. His quiet nature made her feel comfortable. One evening, Lyra sat near the large viewing window, watching the stars. Ethan joined her with 2 cups of warm herbal tea. He handed one to her. Thank you, she said softly, wrapping her hands around the cup. Humans drink this to relax, right? Exactly, Ethan nodded. Thought you might like it. She sipped carefully, then smiled. It tastes gentle, like calm in a cup. Ethan chuckled. Yeah, that's one way to put it. They sat quietly for a few moments before Lyra spoke again. Ethan, why do you live so far away? Humans usually love busy places. He looked thoughtful. I guess I like helping quietly. I like fixing things. Out here, no one expects too much. It's easier to breathe. Lyra nodded, understanding more about him. He wasn't running from the world. He simply chose a simple life, where he felt useful. As days passed, a rescue signal finally arrived from the Celestari Empire. Lyra would be escorted home soon. She was relieved to know her people were safe, but her heart felt strangely heavy. On the morning of her departure, the Celestari ship docked with the station. The crew stepped out, ready to welcome their princess back. They thanked Ethan for protecting her, but he simply nodded, uncomfortable with attention. Lyra turned to him. She wanted to say many things, how grateful she was, how much his kindness meant, how deeply she respected him. She also wanted to ask him to stay in touch, but before she could gather the right words, Ethan gave her a gentle, shy smile and stepped back. When she looked up again, he was gone. In her room on the rescue ship, she found a small note on the bedside table. Ethan's handwriting was simple, clean, and a little uneven. You have a bright path ahead, Lyra, brighter than anything I could offer. I'm glad I could help you. She held the note tightly, feeling a soft ache in her chest. She had met many people across the galaxy, but no one like Ethan Hale. No one who made her feel seen as a person, not a princess. No one who offered kindness without expecting anything in return. As her ship drifted away from the station, Lyra looked out the window at the small structure becoming smaller and smaller. She whispered softly into the vast quiet of space. Thank you, Ethan. I won't forget you. And she meant it. 5 years had passed since Princess Lyra Avaren last saw the quiet human engineer who had rescued her. 5 years since she had woken up inside his small station and felt, for the first time in her life, what it was like to be treated simply as a person. And 5 years since he had quietly walked away before she could say goodbye. During these years, Lyra had changed. She had grown into her role as a leader of the Celestari Empire. Her people trusted her, admired her, and often praised her calm decisions. But every time someone told her she was wise, or gentle, or unexpectedly humble for a princess, she remembered Ethan Hale, and the way he spoke to her without fear or formality. She remembered his soft smile, his simple explanations, and the kindness in his eyes. She remembered how he made the quiet moments feel full of meaning. The palace around her was bright and peaceful, yet a small corner of her heart always felt unfinished, like a melody missing its final note. In all this time, Lyra never stopped thinking about Ethan. At first, she believed the feeling would fade. After all, the galaxy was wide, and people met and drifted apart every day. But the memory of Ethan never dimmed. It only became stronger as she visited new worlds and met new people. She found herself comparing every new face to his. None matched the gentle steadiness he carried without even knowing. Eventually, she realized something simple but powerful. She wanted to find him, not because he rescued her, not because she felt she owed him something, but because she wanted to see him again. She wanted to learn more about the man who had quietly changed her view of the universe, so she began looking. She started discreetly, asking Celestari information officers to check for human engineers named Ethan Hale. But there were many humans in the galaxy, and many named Ethan. She tried checking research station records, but Ethan had always lived quietly, leaving barely any traces behind. Still, she did not stop. Whenever she traveled for diplomatic missions, she visited nearby human colonies or outposts. If she had free time between meetings, she wandered through markets or repair docks, hoping to see him working on some machine only he could fix. She asked humans if they had heard of him, describing him as best as she could, quiet, kind, skilled with tools, someone who preferred helping instead of talking. Most people shrugged and said they didn't know. Some said the galaxy was too large to find a single person living simply. But a few times, she found something hopeful. On a small farming world named Greenvale, a local family told her about a human mechanic who had repaired their broken water filters during a drought. They said he stayed only long enough to help and left before the village could thank him. Lyra listened carefully as the old woman described him. Quiet, modest, soft-spoken, her heart jumped. It sounded like Ethan. But when she asked where he went next, no one knew. He had disappeared as quietly as he had arrived. On another planet, a mining colony floating above a dusty red moon, she heard stories of a man who fixed failing atmospheric shields. The miners said the man refused payment, and only said he was passing through. Lyra spoke with the workers there, and the description again matched Ethan. She followed every clue, every rumor, every possible thread. Sometimes the trail was warm, sometimes cold. Sometimes she found only silence, but even silence could not stop her. Her determination grew stronger each time someone described a gentle human engineer who came, helped, and vanished. As Lyra searched, she met many people who shared stories of small kindnesses. People spoke of a human who brought hope without asking for anything in return. A child on a distant market world said a man had fixed her floating toy and refused even a thank you treat. A trader told her a man once repaired his ship engine for free, saving him from being stranded in deep space. Everywhere she went, the story repeated: a humble human who fixed things, helped people, and then quietly moved on. Lyra realized that Ethan was not hiding. He was simply living the way he always had, helping quietly wherever he could. He believed he had no place in grand palaces or shining starships. He believed his world was small, but Lyra knew better. She knew no heart that shone brighter than his. During her travels, she also reflected on herself. She asked why she searched for him so deeply. Each answer became clearer. She searched because he had changed her. Before meeting Ethan, Lyra had thought leadership meant being perfect, always calm, always confident. But Ethan showed her the beauty in small things, in gentle actions, in being human, or Celestari, without fear. She learned from him that kindness was not weakness, and that humility was not the absence of strength. From him, she learned to lead with compassion, not pressure. But there was something more. She missed him. She missed the quiet evenings when they drank warm tea by the viewing window. She missed how he explained human customs with shy amusement. She missed how comfortable she felt around him, as if she didn't have to carry the weight of her title. She missed the simplicity of their conversations, free from duty or politics. Most of all, she missed how he made her feel seen. As months turned to years, Lyra's search became more focused. At every stop, she gathered more clues, building a silent map of Ethan's travels. He never stayed anywhere too long. He helped, listened, repaired, and then left before anyone could convince him to stay. But the galaxy was vast, and though she followed his trail across star systems, she never caught up to him until one day she arrived on a small, independent moon colony called Vespera. The moment she stepped onto the dusty ground, she felt something different. The air was calm, the people friendly, and the colony peaceful. It had none of the hurried noise of larger worlds. It felt like a place where someone like Ethan might choose to stay a while. Lyra walked through the settlement, wearing a simple cloak instead of royal clothing. She spoke to the locals, shopkeepers, mechanics, traders, and delivery pilots. When she asked about engineers or repairmen, their answers were almost identical. "Ah, yes, we have someone like that." They pointed her toward the outskirts of the colony, where small metal workshops sat beneath a pale blue sky. Her heart beat faster with every step. One shop owner, a cheerful older man, smiled warmly at her question. "Quiet human fellow?" he asked. "Always helps without complaint? Charges too little for his work? Fixes things even when you tell him he doesn't have to?" Lyra nodded, breath-catching. "Oh yes," the man said. "That's Ethan. Lives right down that path. Hard to miss once you get close." Lyra felt her heart tremble, not with fear, but with a mix of hope and relief so strong it almost made her knees weak. After 5 long years, after endless searching, she was finally close. As she walked slowly down the path, she imagined his reaction. Would he be surprised? Shocked? Worried? Would he smile? Would he think she had come for something formal, something official? She wished she could tell him she came only to see him not as a princess, not as a leader, but as someone whose heart had been shaped by his kindness. The workshop came into view. It was small, simple, and quiet, exactly the kind of place Ethan would choose. She saw tools hanging neatly on the walls, small parts organized in clear boxes, and a half-repaired starship resting on the open platform. And then she saw him, Ethan Hale. He stood with his back turned, working on a metal panel. His posture was the same, focused, calm, steady. His hair was a little longer now, his shoulders a bit stronger from years of work. But he looked exactly like she remembered. Peaceful, humble, unaware of how rare he truly was. Lyra stopped a few steps behind him. She wanted to say his name, but her voice caught in her throat. 5 years of searching had led her to this single moment, and she suddenly felt shy, nervous, almost overwhelmed. But she took a deep breath. "Ethan," she said softly. The tools in his hand went still. He turned slowly, as if afraid he had imagined her voice. When his eyes met hers, time seemed to stop. There was shock in his face, confusion, awe, then something warm, something he didn't try to hide, relief. "Lyra?" he whispered, almost unable to believe the vision in front of him. She smiled gently, her eyes glistening. "I found you." Those 3 words hung softly in the air between them, carrying 5 years of longing, hope, and unspoken emotions. And Ethan Hale, the quiet human who always disappeared, realized for the first time that someone had crossed the stars just to bring him back into her world. Ethan stood frozen in his workshop, staring at Lyra as if she were a dream he dared not believe. For a moment, neither of them moved. The air between them felt full of the 5 years that had passed, full of the quiet things neither had spoken, full of the memories that had never faded. Lyra took a slow step forward. "It's really you," she said softly, almost like she was afraid the moment would break. Ethan blinked, still processing her presence. I don't understand. What are you doing here?" She smiled gently. "I came to find you." Ethan opened his mouth, closed it again, then rubbed the back of his neck in that familiar shy way she remembered. "You crossed systems? All that way? For me?" "Yes," she answered simply. "For you." Ethan felt his breath catch in his chest. He looked down, almost overwhelmed. "Lyra, I'm just a mechanic. You are much more than that, she replied. Ethan couldn't form an answer. Lyra noticed, and her heart softened. She walked closer, stopping only a few feet from him. The workshop lights reflected off her pale blue skin, giving her a soft glow. Ethan felt something warm and painful in his chest, like the feeling of seeing something precious you thought you'd lost forever. He finally found his voice. I thought, after you left, your life would be busy. Big. Full of important things. I didn't think you would ever look back. She shook her head slowly. You changed my life, Ethan. I could never forget you. He swallowed, still stunned. I didn't do anything special. You showed me kindness without expecting anything. You treated me as a person, not a princess. You gave me peace when I needed it most. Her eyes softened. That is not nothing, Ethan. That is something rare. Ethan looked away, unsure how to respond. Compliments always made him uncomfortable, but hearing them from her made his heart feel unsteady. She glanced around the workshop. So this is where you've been living? He nodded. Yeah. It's simple, but it works. Lyra stepped carefully through the space, examining the neatly arranged tools, the small plant near the window, the half-repaired starship. Everything was organized, calm just like him. You built a life here, she said gently. I tried, Ethan replied. She turned toward him again. And you help people here too. He shrugged. If they need it, Lyra smiled. You always help people. Everywhere I went, I heard stories about a quiet human who fixed things and then disappeared before anyone could thank him. I knew it had to be you. Ethan's cheeks flushed slightly. I didn't think anyone noticed. I noticed, she said softly. For a moment, they stood together in silence. It wasn't heavy silence. It felt warm, like two old melodies blending again after many years. Lyra sighed quietly. Ethan, why did you leave without saying goodbye 5 years ago? He froze, guilt flickering in his eyes. I thought it was better that way. Better for who? She asked gently. Ethan hesitated. For you, he whispered. Your life is so big. Lyra, you have responsibilities. An empire. People who need you. I'm just me. I didn't want to be a weight on your path. Her expression softened with sadness. You were never a weight. Not then. He looked down. I didn't think I belonged in your world, and I didn't think you would disappear. She replied quietly. Ethan winced. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Her eyes glimmered with something warm. If you truly believed you didn't belong with me, why did you look so sad when you wrote that note? Ethan froze, startled. You kept it? Yes, she answered without hesitation. Every word of it mattered to me. He had no answer for that, only a quiet breath that trembled slightly. Lyra stepped closer, close enough that Ethan could see the faint silver lines on her cheeks. Ethan, I searched for you because I wanted to see you again. Not as a princess. Not for duty. But because I missed you. Ethan felt something tighten in his chest. I missed you too, he admitted, barely above a whisper. Her eyes softened even more. Then why stay away from me? Because I didn't think you needed me, he said truthfully. You have a whole empire. What could someone like me offer you? Lyra looked at him with gentle certainty. A heart that never forgets kindness. A soul that helps others without pride. A calm voice in a noisy world. She paused, then said quietly, Ethan, you offer more than you know. He looked stunned by her words. Before he could answer, a group of colony residents walked past the workshop, waving at Ethan. Morning, Ethan, one of them called. Thanks again for fixing the generator last week. Ethan waved back shyly. Lyra watched the interaction with warm curiosity. She saw how the people around him respected him, trusted him, appreciated him, not because he demanded respect, but because he lived in a way that earned it naturally. You belong anywhere people need kindness, she said gently. He turned back to her, unsure what to say. She continued, her voice soft. Ethan, I didn't come here to take you away from your life. I only wanted to see you again. To know you're safe. To understand the person who changed me." Ethan felt his breath catch. "Changed you? I don't understand." "You taught me to slow down. To see people, not just duties. To speak with honesty, not just formality. And you taught me." She hesitated, her voice softening, "that gentle hearts can be the strongest." Ethan felt heat rise in his cheeks. "Lyra," she smiled. "Ethan, I would like to spend some time here. With you. If you are comfortable with that." Snine. Snine. He blinked in surprise. "You want to stay? Here? For a few days," she replied. "I want to see the world you have built. I want to talk to the people you help. And I want to understand the quiet life you chose." Ethan's mind raced. He had expected her to arrive with demands, formal words, or duties. But she had come simply as Lyra, the same person who once sat with him drinking warm tea under the stars. "Well, if you want to stay, you're welcome," he said softly. Her smile brightened, warm and genuine. "Thank you, Ethan." The next few days passed in gentle harmony. Lyra followed Ethan around the colony, watching him repair cooling units, fix small engines, and help elders with their devices. She noticed how he always spoke kindly, how he listened carefully, and how he made people feel at ease without trying. The colony welcomed her too. They admired her grace and presence, even if they did not know her true status. And Lyra felt strangely comfortable among them. The simple life of the colony reminded her of her days on Ethan's old station. Quiet, warm, human, in the best way. In the evenings, she and Ethan walked through the settlement. They talked about the stars, memories, dreams. Ethan showed her the small garden he cared for, and she told him how Celestari gardens shimmered like starlight at night. They shared more warm tea, and slowly, the distance of 5 years faded between them. One evening, they stood outside the workshop under a violet sky. The stars above sparkled softly, and the moon's gentle light reflected off the metal roofs. Lyra looked at Ethan with calm certainty. "Ethan, I want you to come with me. Not as my subject. Not as someone working under my command. But as someone I trust. Someone I value." Ethan felt his heart stop. "Lyra, I don't know if I fit into your world." "You don't have to fit," she replied. "Just walk beside me." He stared at her, unsure. "What if I'm not enough?" "You are enough," she said firmly. "You always were." Ethan lowered his gaze. "I need time to think." Lyra nodded gently. "Take all the time you need. I just needed you to know how I feel." They stood side by side in quiet peace. Lyra didn't push him. Ethan didn't walk away. They simply shared the moment as two souls who had crossed worlds to find each other again. And though Ethan did not answer yet, something in his heart shifted. For the first time, he began to wonder if he truly did belong somewhere beyond his quiet workshop, somewhere with her. The soft light of the station morning spread slowly across the quiet room. Liam woke up before the others. He sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the small window that showed a slice of warm golden space dust drifting by. It was calm. Almost too calm for his heart. Today, everything would change. He could feel it. Sirana was already awake too. She stood near the window, her hands gently touching the glass, as if she could feel the stars through it. Her long silver hair flowed down her back, and she looked peaceful, yet there was something heavy in her eyes. She turned when she sensed Liam watching her. "You could not sleep well?" she asked softly. Liam shook his head. "Not really. Too much on my mind." Sirana walked toward him, her steps gentle, almost floating. "Because of the council meeting?" "Yes," he admitted. "They want answers, and I don't even know what they expect from me." Sirana sat beside him. "All they want is to understand why you disappeared after saving me. They want to know why a human risked everything for someone he only met once." He sighed. "What do I say? That I was scared? That I didn't think I mattered in your world? That I thought I'd become a problem for you?" Sirana tilted her head, studying his face with deep curiosity. "You always mattered, Liam. You mattered more than you ever understood. He looked away, embarrassed by her sincerity. It felt too big, too overwhelming. You say that now. But 5 years ago you were a princess. And I was just a guy fixing broken machines on a dying ship. You were never just a guy, she said firmly. You were the one who saved me when no one else could. Liam smiled a little, but his chest felt tight. There were many things he had never told her. Many things he still feared to say. Before either of them could continue, Arkin's voice echoed from the other room. Breakfast is ready, and do not worry, I only used ingredients safe for humans. Probably, Liam chuckled. Serana stood and gave him a gentle look. We will face the council together, I promise. He nodded, feeling a little more steady. They sat together around a small round table. Arkin had prepared something that looked like a mix between pancakes and glowing jelly cubes. Liam poked it cautiously. Is it supposed to sparkle? He asked. Arkin grinned. Only on good days. It means it's fresh. Liam wasn't convinced, but Serana took a bite confidently. It is perfectly safe. This is traditional breakfast on my homeworld. Liam took a small bite. To his surprise, it tasted sweet and warm, like honey mixed with gentle fruit. Hey, this is actually good. Arkin puffed his chest proudly. See? I am a chef of great talent. Liam and Serana exchanged a quick, amused glance. Halfway through the meal, a soft chime came from outside. Serana looked toward the door. The council escort has arrived. Liam swallowed the last of his food and stood. Arkin placed a hand on his shoulder. Do not worry. They are curious. Not angry. Liam wasn't sure about that, but he appreciated the support. The escort ship was elegant and shining, almost shaped like flowing water. Liam followed Serana inside, while Arkin stayed behind to watch the station. Inside the ship, everything glowed softly, like the walls were alive. Serana stayed close beside him, sensing his nervousness. You will be fine, she said again. Liam took a deep breath and nodded. As they flew toward the council hall, Serana explained what would happen. They will ask you about our first meeting. They will ask why you left. And they will try to understand your heart. They are not here to judge you. They want to know the truth. He swallowed. And what if the truth makes them send me away? Serana looked at him with genuine shock. Send you away? Liam, you have already proven you are a friend to our people. The council trusts your actions more than you realize. Still, I'm human. I don't belong in your world. You belong where you are respected, she said softly, and you are respected here. The words warmed him in a way he hadn't expected. The council hall was enormous. A grand circular room with floating seats arranged like petals around a central platform. Liam stepped into the light at the center, feeling hundreds of eyes watching him. Serana stood behind him for support. The council elder spoke first. Liam Clark, of Earth, we welcome you. His voice trembled just slightly. Thank you. We have summoned you to understand the events of 5 years past, the elder continued. Princess Serana has told us her truth. Now we wish to hear yours. Liam nodded slowly and began to speak. He told them everything: how he found Serana trapped in that damaged escape pod, how he tried to fix the failing systems, how he risked his own life to help her escape before the reactor overloaded. He told them how she had insisted he come with her, but he refused because he believed he would become a burden to her royal duties. I disappeared, he said quietly. Not because I wanted to leave her. I disappeared because I thought she would be better off without me. There was a deep silence in the hall. The council elder turned to Serana. Is this what you believed? Serana stepped forward. No. I thought he left because he did not care. I thought our meeting meant nothing to him. But after finding him again, I understand I was wrong. She looked at Liam, her eyes soft and full of something he couldn't fully name. He did care. He cared so much that he doubted himself. Another counselor spoke. Liam Clark, do you still believe you do not belong here? Liam hesitated. He looked at Serana and saw hope in her face. He looked at the council and saw curiosity, not judgment. "I don't know where I belong," he admitted, "but I know I don't want to run away anymore." The council murmured among themselves. Then the elder spoke again. "You saved one of our own when you had no reason to. You acted with kindness and courage. These are qualities we value. If you choose, you may stay among us. You may pursue any path you wish. You are welcome here." Liam let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. Serana smiled softly, almost glowing. After the meeting, they walked out into the sunlight of the palace courtyard. The place was alive with gentle wind and floating flowers that glowed faintly. Liam had never seen anything like it. "You did very well," Serana said proudly. "Did I?" Liam rubbed the back of his neck. "I felt like my voice was shaking the whole time." "It was honest," she said. "Honesty matters more than perfect words." They walked slowly along the garden path. There was a quiet tension in the air, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was warm, hopeful. Finally, Serana stopped. "There is something more I want to tell you." Liam turned to her. "What is it?" She looked nervous for the first time. Her fingers twisted softly together. "When I searched for you all these years, it was not only because you saved me. It was because I never forgot you. You were the one who showed me kindness when I was alone and afraid. I wanted to find you because you mattered to me." Liam stared at her, surprised. "Serana, I didn't know." She stepped closer. "I could not tell you before. But now, I want you to know." He took a breath, feeling emotions he had buried for years rise again. "I never forgot you either. Not a single day." Her eyes brightened. "Then do not leave again." Liam smiled gently. "I won't." They stood there for a moment, the quiet garden around them glowing like a soft dream. Serana reached out and took his hand. It felt warm and natural, like it was always meant to be. "Stay with me," she whispered. "Not because I am a princess, but because you are someone I want in my life." Liam squeezed her hand. "Then I'll stay." As days passed, Liam slowly settled into life among Serana's people. He learned their customs, studied their technology, and found himself helping in small engineering tasks around the palace. He felt useful again, not as a symbol but as a person. Serana visited him often. They talked about everything: Earth, her world, their dreams. The distance between them faded like old shadows. One evening, they stood on a balcony overlooking the glowing city. Stars stretched endlessly above them. 5 years ago, Serana said softly, "I lost someone and searched for him. Now I have found him again." Liam looked at her with warmth. 5 years ago I saved someone and ran away. Now I'm ready to stop running." They stayed like that, side by side, watching the horizon shimmer with new light. In that moment, neither of them felt out of place. Neither felt alone. The universe felt wide, but not empty. Together, they had found something rare, a connection stronger than fear, distance, or time. And it was only the beginning of their story.